Welcome, everybody, to episode number 46 of the Third Son Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler, joined as always by our three co-hosts, starting with Mike. Mike, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Like a big bucket of chicken.
All right. Also joining us from Canada is Graham. Graham, how are you?
Doing good. Things are good. A little rough last week, but things were good.
You'll be okay.
Don't want to go into details. We'll all be okay. Life goes on.
All right. And also, Eugene, how are you today?
Man, I've had actually a pretty damn good week.
Good.
Even though we've been getting a lot of rain here. I don't know how it's been in Texas, but it's been storming pretty bad here. Tornadoes and flooding.
Really? Yeah.
Speaking of storming, yeah, we're supposed to be getting one of those tonight.
Yeah,
a snowstorm?
No.
No.
It's probably White North.
No, it's been pretty quiet here. So, all right, great. And if you want to join in on the conversation out there, you can join our Facebook group. Go to Facebook and look up the Third Son Gaming Podcast forums. It is now an open group, so you can go ahead and join without waiting for us to approve you. When you're there, you can submit questions for the show. We'll read some later in this episode. And whenever you get a question submitted that's read on the show, you're entered to win our monthly giveaway, which we'll actually be doing in this episode for the month of April. So, before we start, I mentioned on the Facebook group, for those of you who are on it, that we did have a pretty cool announcement to make this week. So let's talk about that real quick.
And that is that I like to wear the big bucket of chicken on my head after I eat it all.
All right. It is not that, but it's actually that our podcast, we have worked out an agreement to join the Respawn Network. Now, just to clarify, that is not Respawn as in the developer.
Yeah, we're making games.
We're not like joining the Titanfall team, but we are joining the Respawn Network, which is
we've been bought out by EA.
But we're going to be part of that team with site XboxCulture.net, PlayStationCulture.net, and NintendoCulture.net once those two last ones fully launched. But XboxCulture.net is up, alive and well, and you can find lots of cool stuff about Xbox there. And we'll be doing our podcast will be on their Twitch stream, their YouTube channel, and all four of us will actually be contributing to their website with articles and editorials going forward. Also game reviews. So really happy to announce that. I think it's gonna, those of you who have been big fans of our show since the beginning, A, we really thank you, we really appreciate it, and B, we think this is gonna really help grow our community. So we should see a lot more cool people coming in and just being part of the community and being part of what we do here. So I think it's really good for us, and we're excited about it. We're excited to go forward and be a part of it. Next Thursday. Thursday.
Wait a minute.
So,
Wait a minute. It's okay. I mean, we're actually shooting for the CW between Jerry Springer and Steve Harvey, but whatever.
Is Jerry Springer still on? Is that a real thing?
I don't know.
Or is it just reruns?
I don't know.
I figured you made the joke, so.
But that is not true. We are actually really excited to be a part of it. And we'll be starting next week on Thursday. We'll be doing our stream live every Thursday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central of our podcast.
Live. Well, that could be interesting.
On the Twitch channel for the Respawn Network. And you'll be able to pick up the podcast by subscribing. And you'll have it either Thursday night or Friday morning every single week going forward. So again, we thank our listeners that have been supporters since the beginning. You guys are awesome. We love having you as part of the community, and we're really excited about the potential this has to bring in a lot of new people. So with that, let's jump into the news for this week, starting with this little known franchise called Call of Duty that had had a pretty big announcement this week. Call of Duty's going back to its roots, and they weren't kidding when they said it. Call of Duty World War II was announced with a release date of November 3rd, 2017. It has a single-player campaign focused on a Band of Brothers type story that slows down the tempo, which is a big change from recent games, while still keeping the classic Call of Duty set pieces that we know and love. The first mission in the game is going to be the Normandy landing, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And the game focuses on a U.S. squad in the last couple of years of the war. So, multiplayer. I know a lot of people are excited about that. Most people just play multiplayer in Call of Duty. Multiplayer is, quote, boots on the ground focused. And it introduces Headquarters, which is a kind of social arena. It's not a game mode, but it's a social arena, which can have up to 48 players in it at a time. And I think the boots on the ground thing's really good because we've gotten lately into this thing where you have like jetpacks and you have like
wall running
and
climbing up everything.
Yeah, and I kind of I want the days of like Call of Duty 4 back and before that, where
like
where it was really
leave that
simple.
to Titanfall. Let Titanfall have that and stick to what you're really good at.
Yeah.
It's not like they had a choice anyways. I mean, everybody was screaming at them. I mean, what else are they going to do? What, the Twilight Saga vampires versus werewolves,
Well, you never know.
And let's hit this headquarters thing on the head real quick. So it's a social lobby. So they're going to have avatars or whatever, your player. All this is going to be is a bunch of 13-year-olds running around teabagging each other. So I don't see the point of this at all.
Well, I'd like to see what they do with it. I mean, we've seen a lot of social aspects in games, especially, I don't know if you guys remember, what was it, the PlayStation, was it Lifestyle, where you could go in and socialize with people? And they had like mini games and stuff in there where you could play arcade games with people. So, like,
did that ever catch on?
No, not a lot. Once it launched, like when it launched, it had a following. And there's a few people that were that stayed in there, but I mean they ended up shutting it down because it just ended up being a little bit stupid. But I can imagine with like Call of Duty, if you guys remember, what was that? Was it called DOA? That Dead Ops. It was called Dead Ops in the Black Ops games where you can go to the arcade machine and play the Dead Ops game.
Yep.
I can imagine where they might use that as a social aspect where you can go up to somebody and just say, hey, let's play some Dead Ops, co-op.
Well, no, I almost wonder if since they're both under the Activision umbrella, if this isn't going to take a page from the Crucible and Destiny as a social type environment.
Oh, and you could do like missions together, and
maybe
that might be a good idea.
You might be able to launch things like they have a brand new co-op mode, by the way, which is completely separate from the single player, with original missions and all that type of thing coming in this game. Maybe there's a way where you're in that place and you go to a spot to launch that, other people join you and you go, and it's it's a way to socialize, meet people, and do that type of stuff. And I hope, Mike, it's not what you're saying. There's a chance it could be. I hope they do a good job making it a more interactive experience so people actually get engaged with it. And I think maybe making it a Crucible type thing would be good for that, and having a spot where you run to this spot, this is where you can change your your gear and all that stuff, put your upgrades in and all that type of thing.
Now you said this game. Cool. You said this game was from Activision, right?
Yeah.
No, it's from Mars.
No, but
who do you think puts out Call of Duty?
Yeah,
but it's Treyarch as well, right?
Well, no, Activision is the publisher.
Activision is the publisher. The developer, they have like 3 different developers.
This is the
Treyarch.
Okay, so what
Infinity Ward
is this one?
This is Sledgehammer.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I heard they're doing the zombies one, right? So I was thinking like Treyarch was the only one that did zombies, but
no,
I wasn't sure about
that's a Call of Duty thing now. It's in like all Call of Duty.
Yeah, zombies is in this one too.
Yeah.
The Sledgehammer, the first Sledgehammer game was the Kevin Spacey one.
Which I actually liked that. Wasn't it Advanced
Warfare, yeah. But I actually didn't think that was bad at all.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Kevin Spacey. He made a great antagonist, I thought, other than the pay respects part.
Yeah, press X to pay respects.
Yeah, press X to pay respects. But I really enjoyed that story, and it didn't get too advanced, and it didn't get too crazy, so...
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to see what they do. I'm planning on getting this game. I have kind of reluctantly gotten Call of Duty the last few years, and I'm actually kind of excited this year.
It reminds me of, I don't know if you guys ever, just watching the trailer, did you guys watch the trailer at all?
Yeah.
So it brings back memories, and I forgot which Call of Duty it was where you also, was it at World at War? World at War?
Oh,
that
World at War.
You stormed the beach?
Yes, it is.
So World at War, it brings me back to that, to where you storm the beach, that you're on the boat. It also brings back memories of, on PS2, one of my favorite, first-person war games was Medal of Honor Frontline.
Yeah,
I don't know if you ever played that. It was such a fantastic game, and I'm so glad that they're going back to their roots and going back to World War II, and I'm glad other games are doing it as well.
And do you think Battlefield helped make this idea? Or
I was going to bring up...
I planned it long ago.
I was going to bring up Battlefront because, or Battlefield rather. they've been getting a lot of flack, and people are saying, "Oh, they're copying Battlefield." No, they're not.
No.
They've known for years now that they've had to change the formula.
Yep.
That the last 3 games they've lost sales. There's not as much hype for Call of Duty. They knew they had to go back to their roots and go back to real guns and not jumping around in space and using jetpacks. So
plus,
I'm excited for the first time ever. I'm just real excited for a Call of Duty announcement and wanting to see more of this. So
it's kind of a typical thing for someone like to go back to the roots, like even like with bands and stuff like that. When they after release so many albums, they're like, okay, we're going back to our roots. So it seems to be a common thing, which makes sense though, because that's what made them popular in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to go back and complete the circle, and you learn from like the other like iterations. So I'm definitely looking forward to see which way they're going to go with this. It seems like they're making the right decisions.
Mm-hmm. But to your point, Eugene, these are 3-year development cycles for these games now. I'm sorry, Mike. These are 3-year development cycles for these games, and they're not copying Battlefield 1 unless they had spies inside at the very beginning of Battlefield 1.
Which you could.
I think Graham, you're on the money. They evolved and they kind of grew over time, and they evolved into different things. And for the first evolution was into modern warfare, and then we kind of went into futuristic warfare, and they started seeing sales decline. And gamers spoke with their wallets, and they made the decision like, hey, we need to go back to what made us great in the first place, and I commend them for that. So, sorry, Mike, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I hate World at War. I hate PS2. I hate bands, and I may or may not hate Eugene.
Okay, well, thank you for the constructive contribution there. So let's move on.
Oh, come on. No, really, I didn't like World at War. I liked 3. I liked 4. World at War, for some reason, with all the people glitching underneath the bridges and stuff, when you got into the jungle area, that sucked. And they never really fixed it either. PS2, I like that one game I always talk about when you run around as a skeleton. I didn't have many. No, that's the PS1.
Medieval?
No.
Medieval?
Yeah, Medieval. That was it. That was my favorite game in the world on the PlayStation. I didn't have a PS2. I had a PS1. My girlfriend had a PS2, though. Heaven forbid you should actually tilt that thing with a CD in there. It's gone.
Thank God for Blu-rays.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I would say thank God for digital downloads, but Xbox has been giving me an issue where I can't play any of my downloaded games. So this is kind of deterring me from digital games.
Oh, there's a fix for that. Are you in the preview program?
Yes.
Okay, after the show's over, I'll look it up for you, brother. I saw a post about that.
All right. Yeah, you gotta find out because we got playoffs after the show here. So
yeah.
Right.
All right, next up. I'm a fan of Burnout. Mike, you're a fan of Burnout. We've heard about the spiritual successor to the Burnout Racing series for a while. Now we learned it's called Danger Zone, and it's out in May, but it's only on the PS4 and PC.
What?
You ride into
Is Tom Cruise in it?
the danger zone. No, but Val Kilmer did Ask Me Anything today.
Oh, really?
Cool.
Was he wearing the sunglasses, the aviators?
I freaking hope so.
Hopefully he's in Burnout. Hopefully there's a Batman costume.
Well, that's not Burnout. It's Danger Zone.
He actually listed one of his movies as Batman. He only listed like 4 of them. I'm like, dude, you got Ghost in the Darkness, you've got Willow, you've got all these other really cool ones, and
The
you
Saint.
list freaking he listed that one. You got
I like how we started talking about Burnout and then we just transitioned
Now we're on
into
the same.
Willow.
Now we're on Val
Now we're in
Kilmer.
the movies.
Now we're
It's,
talking about magical
it's
dwarves.
flowy. But before we go back from the movies,
Yeah.
I did not know this, but they made a third Ring, the Ring movie. I just saw it on the store today. It's called Rings.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yeah, it's pretty recent.
That's the only freaking movie that scares me.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Graham?
I said you could take this moment to transition into another news article
I can.
talking about movies.
Yeah. No. But
Thank God we're not talking about Zelda. Boners
No.
popping everywhere. Be here for 3 hours.
You're about to get in the danger zone, Mike. You're on the
You are.
borderline of the danger zone.
Yes.
All right. Up next, Ubisoft has blocked game streaming and DVR functionality for the game For Honor on the Xbox One. That's because the latest Xbox One firmware update has caused there to be some problems with For Honor's performance on the system. And obviously they don't want people seeing the game look terrible, more so than it already does. And actually the game actually looks really good. It just doesn't seem to have the life to it that Ubisoft thought it would, because we've seen.
So is it kind of having like the
player base
Horizon
decline.
effect? Would you say?
Ubisoft bit the pillow when they screwed up the servers for almost 2 weeks.
Yeah. I think we're seeing a little bit of the Evolve effect on this game. Like, Evolve came out and it had a ton of players right away, and then it died quick.
Yeah, but so did The Division and every other game.
Oh, that too. That too. I mean, I just threw out Evolve because I thought of it, but that too.
The only reason
why can't they keep people? Is it not the support, or people are just getting bored with it quick? Like, what do you guys think?
Mike's right. The server issues at the very beginning made it hurt it. It hurt the franchise. And
the only reason sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just saying that, I mean, they should really just pull and Evolve right now and just put it games with gold, put a lot of DLC, and try to make some money out of it while they can.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That bad?
Go ahead, Mike.
Here's the thing. See, I have a problem with this because, whoever the team was who put this game together, they did something out of the box, and just for people who just want to smash face against another person, and there's plenty of people out there, but there was no real good alternatives, something that was, on the level of having to have the timing with Dark Souls and everything like that. So now you got to hear, and this team put this incredible game together, and Ubisoft fucked it all up again. They do this with their games all the time, and then, the game suffers, and it shouldn't have suffered, and this shouldn't be allowed to be happening either. You know what? Well, somebody patch it on one side or the other.
Maybe when they get bought out by Vivendi, they'll fix some things.
Yeah.
God.
No, and I agree with you, Mike, on that front for sure. Like, Ubisoft does not do a good job supporting its games post-launch, and they certainly don't do a good job getting their games ready for launch, especially if there's any sort of multiplayer aspect to the game at all. In fact, the only Ubisoft game we haven't heard anything about as far as problems go is Steep. And maybe that's because nobody's playing.
That's because nobody bought the damn game.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
So there's no server stress on that game.
Yeah, no, there is.
I think they announced. Did you guys hear they announced Steep for Switch? Is that true?
Yes, that is true.
Oh, great.
That is. Yep.
We have a third Switch game.
Yeah.
Yay.
So moving on. Injustice 2, if you're looking forward to that game, its leaked achievements have revealed that the Joker will be a playable character in the upcoming game, which is a surprise to everybody because the Joker was not an announced character for Injustice 2. So kind of a cool addition for big fans of that series. Any thoughts, gentlemen? Or Mike, I know you're not getting this game, but anybody else?
I mean...
I'll tell you something. I mean, the Joker was playable in the first one, so I don't see what the big deal is.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. I don't see the surprise. And, I mean, the Joker is right now, I can't think of a character right now that surpasses the Joker in the DC comic universe. He brings in money ever since rest in peace Heath Ledger played the Joker. That everyone loves the Joker. So they kind of messed things up in Suicide Squad, but yeah, everyone loves the Joker.
Well, and the Joker's the most interesting character in the DC universe anyway. My opinion anyway.
No, you're totally right.
So,
well, Wonder Woman brings all the boys to the yard.
Oh, true. That too. So, all right, Twitch, if you're a fan of Twitch. Last week we talked about how Twitch was giving you new ways to subscribe to people there. This week they announced that they're starting a new affiliate program to help support smaller streams in their efforts to become Twitch partners. So you can become a Twitch affiliate if you're a smaller stream and monetize a little bit that way and help you grow in order to become a partner, and you might see us taking advantage of that here. So,
yeah, no, I think this is awesome, and the timing could be perfect for us. And I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people out and grow communities and make gaming more accessible and more popular. So 2 thumbs up for me.
Yep. All right. Yeah. And go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that's a great idea because there are streamers out there that just can't get off the bucket, so to speak, and they could use the spotlight. I know one thing. There's this guy named is Dizzy Disaster. It's probably one of the first people I ever started following. One of the very few people I've actually subscribed to, and he usually averages about 200 people, depending on the game. Somehow, some way, his got randomly selected to be on the front page, and he got up to like 2,000 views. And so
and then all of a sudden, bam, back down to like 300. But hey, he had us 5 minutes, I guess.
Sure.
15 minutes, whatever.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, and by the way, everybody, if you're a fan of Twitch, we'll be talking here in the next week or two about us streaming a lot more. We're doing both Twitch streams and YouTube videos. So we'll be setting up all that pretty soon, and we'll be communicating that to you as well, so you can join in on that. All right, finally this week for news, FIFA 17 is now available in the EA Access Vault. And I'm sorry, that's not finally. We did have one more, but that's the as Doc Emmerich would say on NHL 17, the penultimate news story, the second to last. Mm-hmm. So the final one, unless you guys had comments about FIFA.
So EA, I do have an EA Access story, just real quick. So I had a friend subscribe to EA Access. I got a free month of EA Access, and I actually subscribed myself. But came over for a barbecue this weekend, and we played some NHL and we played some Madden since they were free on EA Access. And he's getting EA Access now. He loves NHL. Never played it before, but we played one-on-one. On the same screen, and he loved it. So
cool.
Nice. Not another NHL fan.
Nice.
Good job, Eugene. There is use for you.
And he beat me. He beat me on his first time playing NHL 17.
Nice.
I'm a strong believer in beginner's luck, or you might have left.
That's a very hard game to play when you're just playing one-on-one and you're having to play every position on the team. It gets kind of hard.
Yeah.
See, I liked about that game how, like, this guy who's never played it before, he was still able to play and beat you. Like, you don't have to be great to play that game.
Yeah.
It kind of, like, balances out.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yep. Mike, did you have something?
Wait, were you talking about NHL, Grammy?
Yeah.
No, man. It's survival of the fittest in that game, in my opinion. I was playing Versus for quite a while, and, playing EA SHL, you forget, at the very beginning to start hitting the right trigger to switch guys. But yeah, you gotta be good. I mean, there's no lack of talent online.
Yeah,
like you don't have to like be like crazy good.
No, you don't.
Like, I can play against people and like just undress them and just make them look stupid, but if you don't go like crazy aggressive, like you can kind of keep it within like a realm of equal.
You can.
Yeah, we're playing offline.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Graham, because in EA Sports Hockey League, and we'll move on from this quickly, everybody, I promise. But in EA Sports Hockey League, we don't do like all the deeks and spinning around left and right and holding the puck for like forever in the zone. Okay, other than Mike who thinks he does, but but we're able to play good defense, and we can hang with teams who do that, and then get the opportunities to kind of counterpunch and get a goal, and we'll beat our fair share teams that are quote really good and do that. So I can see what you're saying, Graham.
Yeah.
I like how I actually do this stuff, but yet it's just farce.
So, all right. Finally in news this week, for real this time. Nintendo sold 2.74 million Switch units last month, stopping an 8-year consistent decline in sales.
Yeah. That's an impressive number. Like, I don't know how that compares to other consoles, but almost 3 million in a month.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it broke a record. I mean, I think it's the second biggest console launch in history. I think the last one was like PlayStation 1995 or something like that.
Yeah. I'm just impressed that they had almost 3 million of them out there to buy. Because Nintendo's notorious for low supply.
A lot more hitting GameStop stores this week or something.
So,
Amazon just put it up today. I mean, they're coming out slowly.
Mm-hmm. So, we'll commend Nintendo on actually bringing the supply this time, because they're notorious for not doing that.
Yeah, too bad they didn't do it with the
launches.
Mini Classic or Classic or whatever the hell it's called.
Well, nobody knows because nobody's seen one except Eugene.
You could have went to Best Buy this week, and I know a lot of people that went to Best Buy, and Best Buy stores. I think the one here where I'm at, they had 10, and another one in Little Rock had 15. But the people that were there at opening got one.
Okay.
And, at opening, yeah.
Don't worry, they'll all be on eBay for $500 soon.
So,
you're rich. You're rich, Graham. You have the Canadian loonies.
Yeah.
They're worth more than
I still can't justify spending 5 times the price
There's no
blame you.
reason to. There's no reason to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of upsets me because I want it, but I'm not going to be that person to spend
You
that much.
don't need it.
No, I know I don't.
Here's the thing, Remy. Here's the relief to your problem. You can buy laser printed Nintendos that look exactly like regular Nintendos, like the actual size of the old one, with a Raspberry Pi in it for like $50, dude. Yeah, the emulators included. You don't have to worry about anything. So don't like stress yourself out over it.
Funny, I was at Best Buy too, and I was looking at the Bluetooth controllers, like the NES one and the SNES one. They're $50 a pop for the controller.
Oh my god! For the actual NES Classic?
No, for the controller, the Bluetooth controller that you can use for emulators and stuff.
Oh, okay, I got you. I mean, because like for the Classic, you can get like USB ones on like Amazon for like 10 or 20 bucks.
Like third party ones.
Yeah, but work perfectly with the emulator ones.
Emulators, which would be great because it's nice to have the same controller. Because like I said before, like I've tried playing like NES games on like a Mad Catz, looks like an Xbox 360 controller, and it just doesn't feel right playing like Super Mario 1 with the B and A button, right? So I like that Bluetooth controllers are available, but for $50, that seems pretty high.
That's insane.
That's a little high. You can take a Super Nintendo controller and then go from Nintendo controller to USB and then go straight into there. I mean, it doesn't have to be a Bluetooth. You know what I mean? Just put an extender on it.
Yeah.
So, that's my opinion.
All right. Anything else from anybody?
Oh, you don't know the half of it.
All right. Well, we're gonna call there. That's gonna do it for news this week, everybody. Graham, let's turn on over to you. What can we get new in stores?
Okay. Well, we are pretty quiet on the new releases front, but we do have some standout titles. The biggest, in my opinion, and maybe others, is a game from Bethesda, and that game is Prey. This game will be released on May 5th and will be releasing on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Now,
demo's available right now on Xbox One.
Yeah, you can play it right now. Have you guys played it?
No, I have not.
No, I heard it's the first hour, right, or something they call it.
I don't know. I haven't downloaded it yet.
Yeah, I might do that after the show. Just download it.
I might too, or eventually I'll go try it. But yeah, it looks great to me. Moving along, also releasing next week, starting May 2nd, we have Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale series, which is available on May 2nd. And this game will be released on PS4 only. Now, also releasing for PS4 on May 2nd, we have Portal Knights, Nier Automata, and Nog, or G-Nog, or however you want to pronounce it.
G-Nog?
G, capital N, capital O, capital G. And also, May 2nd, we'll also see the release of Tumbleseed, and this game will be available for both PC and Nintendo Switch owners. Now, for Xbox One exclusive, we have Planet Base, which releases on May 3rd, and then on May 5th, we get two more Xbox releases, and those are World to the West and Save the Ninja Clan. And that, my friend, is a wrap.
All right.
No. You know what? There's been an absolute drought in Japanese releases. Why is that?
They probably heard me butcher them. They're like, "Okay, we're not doing any more of these because
we're just not going to announce. We're not going to announce the news in English. We're just going to go with Japanese news.
I suspect foul play.
I'll start playing Turning Japanese. So that's it. Moving on.
All right, Mike, what can we save money on?
Well, we got the free lineup for both PS4 and Xbox this month, or on May.
For May.
Starting with Games with Gold, you can get Ghana Sisters' Twisted Dreams Director's Cut for free starting on the 1st. Later in the month, you can get Lara Croft. And on the 360, they're supporting Star Wars Day. First one that's coming out is going to be Force Unleashed 2, followed by the Lego Star Wars Complete Saga, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So
those are two I'm getting for sure.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to dig into those. I still start and stop the download anyway, just so I still have it in case I get, bored.
Yeah. Me too.
And going over to the PlayStation, we have on the PS4 Alien Nation and also Tales from the Borderlands. Going to be free this month. On PlayStation 3, Port Royale 3 and Blood Knights will be available. Port Royale was actually a really fun game. I never played 2 or 3, so I'm hoping that this is improved on it, but it's free, so you guys can check it out. All right. So there was one noteworthy thing on a list of games that are available this week. There's a sale via Amazon, 10 to 60% off. Most of the prices on there were not that great, to be honest with you. But Lego Worlds is on sale through that sale right now for $22.39. So that's definitely worth checking out at that price. Let's see here. So we're going to go through the Xbox ones real quick here. Western Digital, 2 terabyte, My Passport, portable, external hard drive is $67.99 via Rakuten. So if you just want a 2 terabyte, you can get that, but there's 4s out there for about $85, $90. Xbox Live 12-month gold membership, physical card via Rakuten is $39.99 right now, and that won't last very long at all. It actually got taken off, now it's back on, so get on that while you can. Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. If you just came in on Dark Souls 3 and wanted to try out the other 2, well, one of them was free with Games with Gold, the original. This one is $15.89 via Walmart right now. And if you want to play a really good game that's just a side-scroller like Minecraft, Terraria is available for $8 via Amazon. Really good $8 being spent. There are 2 controllers on sale right now. The Xbox One S wireless controller in white, newest model, is $40 on Order Easy as 123 via eBay. And also, I got to make sure I got the right person that's doing this. Yes, the Xbox One special limited edition Forza Motorsports 6 wireless controller, which I own and is really nice, and it has the grip pads and it's pretty slick looking, is $39.99 via eBay right now. So, and Record dropped another $2 on Amazon to $13.72. So if you're going to get on that, you might as well get on it because it ain't going to get any lower than that. So I'm going to move over to the PS4 real quick. They have the 2 terabyte too, which is obvious. They don't have EA access, so Madden NFL 17 is $20 at Toys R Us right now, which is probably a pretty damn good deal. PlayStation Store is giving a discount for digital Prey at $53.99 if you pre-order right now. Battlefield 1 is $29.99 on the PlayStation Store. Mass Effect Andromeda is down to $39.99 via GameStop for the PS4 as well. Seagate Barracuda 2 terabyte is $89.99 via Newegg, but that's an extremely fast one. So if you like speed, definitely go with the Barracuda, or actually the Firecuda, whatever. And that pretty much does it for what the PS4 has this month. There really isn't a lot of real good Switch deals right now, but there is one Nintendo Switch with the Great Joy-Con and the Kingston HyperX Cloud Core headset for $379 on eBay right now. Beyond that, there's nothing really there. And we're going to move over to the 3DS, which has Animal Crossing New Leaf Welcome Amiibo for $14.99. Beyond that, that's pretty much going to do it for me, boys.
All right. Let's move into what we've been playing. Who wants to go first this week?
Yeah, I'll go.
Sure.
Digging into a few games, actually. One of the ones I've been playing a lot of is City Skylines. I pretty much spent all morning today playing it. The only thing I do not like is there's no fast forward. And Steve was absolutely right on that. I cannot believe that it's not in the game. I had to go do other things while everything was developing. It takes 20 seconds per month. It takes a while. No, it was per week or per month. Per month. So it takes a while to get things done.
Do you think that'll be something they patch in?
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to patch it because that's a core mechanic on all these sim builders, and it's just dragged out otherwise.
Oh, I'm sure the boards are just lit up with people
Yeah,
complaining about that.
that's a huge miss.
Yeah, it is. And hey, Ty, what was the name of that movie game?
Oh yeah, Late Shift.
Yeah, I just started that. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I started playing that last night as well.
It is kind of cool,
So-
isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So
And they like mock you if you do something wrong.
Yep.
You know? So that was kind of funny. Beyond that, I have been just catching up on my shows. Ordered some Deadliest Sketch today. Love that show. Beyond that, man, that's pretty much what's going on with me. Oh,
All right.
NHL, but that's
Yeah.
just a given.
all right, I'll go ahead. I played some NHL, some Battlefield 1. I dabbled with Disney Afternoon Collection, actually, not too much, but a little bit. And I played this game that Mike just touched on, but it's called Late Shift. And I just saw it, and I thought it sounded really interesting. I saw it on the store, so I picked it up. It was on sale for, I think, $10. And the entire game is a live action movie.
Yep.
And you basically choose the responses that the main character makes, and it changes the course of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like 7 different endings that you can get to. Basically, you're this like college age kid who works night shift at a parking garage as like security or whatever. And
Don't give
and
anything else
and you
away.
get caught up. You get caught up in like this whole thing, this crime thing. I'm not going to give away spoilers at all, but your decisions after that completely change the course of the story. And
Very cool.
yeah, I sat down and started playing it, and I played all the way through till I got to the first ending I got. I'm looking forward to going back to it again.
So is it like a story-driven narrative game,
Yes.
or is it like a
Yes.
first-person? Okay.
Very story-driven narrative. Like, you watch
Yep.
the movie play out, and you just choose the responses and
Yeah.
how your character is going to react to different things that are happening. Based on the choices you make, it can
Yeah.
send the story in a completely different direction.
So it's like
Yeah,
choose
exactly.
your own adventure, but
Yeah, exactly.
Very
you
much.
get to see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You watch it play out. So
That's
there's
a
no
very
like,
cool idea.
yeah, there's no like gameplay.
So it's like Telltale, or it's like
It's kind of like Telltale,
Oh.
except it's live
Yeah.
action. Like, these are all actors, and they're playing it out, and
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like
Yeah.
it is live action. You're watching it, and then it'll bring up a cue for you to a character will say something to you, and you'll have to respond, and
Yeah.
you choose how you respond and what you're going to
That's
do,
that-
and
that
it
actually
changes
And
the
it's
sounds
course.
pretty
timed too.
It is
That
really
sounds pretty
original, and it's really cool. And I haven't heard a lot about this game, so like shout out to the developers of that game. I don't even know who developed it. We'll look it up. We'll talk about it next week again, but because I look
Something
forward
movie.
to playing it. Yeah, but it is really original and it's cool. Like I actually really enjoy it. It's a nice change of pace from
Mm-hmm.
the shooters and sports games and all that stuff that we normally play. So
Yep. Actors
Um,
are decent too.
yeah, the actors are actually good. Like, it's totally believable. You get immersed in the story.
Yep.
So,
So-
does it have Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise in
It does not have Val Kilmer. or Tom
Unfortunately,
Cruise.
not. No.
Oh, I'm out.
And there
I'm
is
out,
no
yeah.
there is no highway to the danger zone playing.
There's no danger zone.
No.
Okay.
But
What about
But-
playing with the boys?
no, don't think so.
Is there a beach volleyball
But
scene?
it's set. No, there's no beach volleyball scene.
There should
But
be a
it's-
beach volleyball team.
But
Spoilers.
It's set in London. It's set in London. It's just really cool. Highly recommended. It was $10 on sale. I think normal price is like $13 or something like that. But
Yeah.
still totally recommend the game. It's actually
Yep.
it's really cool.
Yep.
But that's what I've been playing. How about you guys?
Eugene?
So I haven't been playing much this week. I actually spent I played NHL 17. I played a little bit of Madden. I played a little bit of Diablo. I started my seasons, and I'm through the first
About time.
chapter. Yeah, I started seasons, to try it out, and I can't wait to. I've been looking at capture cards. I've been looking at some Elgato capture cards, and gonna probably
Yeah.
start recording.
HD60s.
Yes, that's exactly what I've been looking at. And
That's right.
I'm really worried, and I'll ask you guys, and I know, Mike, you're a tech guy, so I might ask you, I'm worried about my laptop being compatible, but we'll get into that later. But also, I put in some time this week in Disney Afternoon Collection. I probably put in 6 to 7 hours into it. I beat all the games and played with all the
Nice.
features. And I actually love it. I love it. It had a few stressful moments, but I'm actually writing my first ever game review on it.
Very cool.
Cool.
I know it's a week after release, but I'm going to try to finish that up tonight and put it out. I know it may not get posted anywhere, but I may put it on a blog or do something with it so people can read it.
I'll read it, man. I'll read it. I'll let you
Yeah.
know what you think of it.
I'll tweet it to you. Just a few characters at a time, and you just read all those tweets.
Every time I see it, I want to play DuckTales because I love that game.
Oh,
with NES.
DuckTales,
That was my
those
favorite
two.
game, man.
And I never got to play DuckTales 2 as a kid, or Rescue Rangers 2. Those are
I
actually
didn't know
very.
there was a DuckTales too. So
Yeah, it's a very hard to find cart right now, and I think if you go on eBay, it's like $200 or $300 to get it, unless you have an emulator. So I'm really glad that it's totally worth the $20, especially if you grew up in the '90s, early '90s, late '80s. It's a great game, but for new gamers. For new gamers, not so much. It's a great nostalgia trip for those 6 games. And the features that it has boss rush, it has a time attack, it has leaderboards, it has some great features on it too. So,
Go figure. That's cool.
yeah.
Graham, how about you?
Well, me, it's been kind of a slow week for me. I played a little bit of NHL 17. I tried to play yesterday, but like I said, Xbox was giving me problems. I couldn't get into anything that I purchased. But other than that, I was playing Diablo, working my way through. Oh, that game's so addicting. I just want to keep playing it and just get to another spot or get to the next checkpoint. So I'll be through that one pretty fast, and I'll probably jump into seasons. I might pick a different character because I like having weapons and using weapons, and the character that I got don't carry weapons, so that was kind of a bummer. So definitely liking the game, though. It's great. I like how it carried over to the console. It did it really well. Now you don't have like click and like move all your like armor around in the boxes so you can fit more stuff, and now you have like bags where all your jewels go in, so that doesn't take up space. So it's nice to see that they've been constantly updating it and improving it, and I can't wait. Maybe when the Necromancer class comes out, I'll try that one. So that's basically what I spent most of my time on.
Cool.
hey, so before we move on to questions, did you guys ever play Night Trap?
No.
Night Trap on.
So.
So it was an old Sega CD game. It had a lot of controversy because it was a live action game for Sega CD, and like whenever advocates in the early '90s they took it to court and said video games are just violent and they promote violence.
Here we go again.
It's being re-released by Limited Run Games on PS4 and Xbox. So I think that's pretty cool that they're bringing that back. So we're talking about live action games. So yeah, check that out.
You almost said live sex. Live sex.
Actually, I did. You just-
All right, with that, let's move into questions. So before we get into questions this week, we do have the winner of our April giveaway, and
This is all my fault.
we did include everyone that has submitted questions for this show because we'll get to him here in a second. But our winner for our April giveaway is actually one of our best fans and best listeners. We appreciate it.
the best.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, especially if you
Missing a
watch
long
NHL.
time.
But Steven Wiseman, congratulations!
Yay.
You won an
Congratulations.
Xbox. You won an Xbox gift card. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate the support that you give us, and you are a very, very active member of the community, and we appreciate that. So, despite all the jokes, we really, really seriously do appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, all right, with that, let's move into the questions for this week. Eugene, what do we got?
All right, so we actually have 4 good questions this week from our listeners posted on the Facebook group. So first one comes from Brian Richland. What is one game type that you can't get into but wish you could? Real-time strategy games for me. My friends all love Halo Wars, and I just can't get into it.
It's RPGs
Anybody?
for me.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Like your hardcores, and then your super like difficult games like your Dark Souls and that stuff. That too.
Yeah.
Like it's the type of game when I play it, like I know it's a really good game, but it just doesn't do it for me. So it's not like I think the game sucks. I just know it's not for me. So.
But whenever I think of RPGs, I don't necessarily think about Dark Souls.
No, I'm saying that type of game too. But
I
RPGs
definitely
too.
agree. I definitely agree with you with Dark Souls. I can't get into the Dark Souls series. Those really just continuously dying, which I did love Bloodborne, but it was a little bit easier than Dark Souls to me and easier to get into, and I like the lore and the darkness behind it. And then also, I it's not really a genre. I guess it's a really open world sandbox game, but Grand Theft Auto. I just can't get into Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
The gameplay and the wacky stories and the missions. I mean, great games. They make great games. I love Red Dead, but I cannot get into the Grand Theft Auto universe, the zaniness, the wackiness. But Rockstar makes fantastic games. I just can't get into that.
I was with you there. I was with you there until GTA 5. GTA 5 grabbed me big time, but yeah.
I bought it. I bought it twice actually. I bought it for Xbox 360, and then whenever it was re-released on PS4, I'm like, I'll try it again because they released that first-person patch, and I'm like, I'll give it a shot, but I never finished it. I just couldn't invest the time into it.
Oh, that's another game that they've supported like tenfold.
Oh,
still supporting it.
Yeah,
It
even right
still blows
now.
my mind. It's like, wow, they just come up with something else and another one.
Yeah, they keep bringing people back. Like, it was just in the news that they're giving away like something like $400,000 in their in-game cash to anybody that plays this week. So they're bringing people back.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's it.
All right. How about you guys?
Okay, I'll just say a game because there's games that I haven't really tried, so I can't say it's something I can't get into. But The Sims, I've never really gotten into The Sims. I thought it was a really cool concept and be neat to see how it all would play out. But I've never put any amount of time into it, and I've always thought, well, it's pretty cool, and they always have these little add-ons or updates. So I've never really put in any extensive time, so I like I said, it'd be pretty cool, but I don't really have the time to put into it, and there's other things. So that's mine.
Okay.
Versus fighters. I want to love them. I really do. And I don't feel like I am prepared unless I have, like a $150 third-party joystick to do everything with. Way back when Street Fighter 2 was huge, I had a friend of mine who had a Super Nintendo, and he actually went out and made a box with the controls just like the arcade, and we were practice on there. He was amazing at it. He actually went to Disneyland finals.
Wow.
Yeah, he came in like fifth or something like that, but still, out of all those people that were there. But after Street Fighter 2, it's just all the combos and everything like that. My hats off to all the people that can rip a clip in these games and stuff like that. But I just can't. I am not good at them, so I just don't play them at this point.
I'm kind of with you there too, because like I really want to love like Mortal Kombat. I just
exactly
can't.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I'm kind of with you in Downton too.
I suck the butt at versus fighters, and that's all there is to it.
Are you going to try out Ultra Street Fighter 2 when it comes out next month?
Nah.
Yeah.
I already know. I know when to hang up my spurs and then.
Yeah, like the Mortal Kombat campaign was really good, but as far as that's pretty much all I played on it.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for me on that front.
Cool. Well, great question. Thank you. What's up next?
All right, so we have a question from Ryan Schneider. He writes in again. How many people on the other team should ideally be smack talked and pub stumped at once? Is there even an upper limit? I don't even understand this question.
First of all, let's cover what is pump stumping.
I don't know. That's a Canadian thing, it sounds like. I think Ryan's from like Ontario or somewhere.
Would this be an equivalent to teabagging?
Let's say yes, for the purposes of the question.
I mean, Graham is the native Canadian here. What is a pub stump?
I have no idea. I would think just like everyone just like jumping on once and just like.
Is that like a curb stomp or?
Yeah, like a curb stomp. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Yeah.
When he says pump stomp,
we don't have
sounds like a.
We don't have curb.
Like a fucking
pub,
jerking
so
off motion.
Pub stomp.
And then
pub stomp. I said pump stomp.
I did say stump, which is it sounds funnier like that.
Pub stomp.
So given that we don't know what that means, we're just gonna make something up, and assume it means like teabagging.
We'll answer a question Something we
I'm gonna
love.
answer. I'm gonna answer yes.
I'm
Well-
gonna say however much you want, brother. Just
Well, there are people out there, there's teabagging in NHL. And there are people out there that just don't know when to do it. It's like they're yelling at the mic, hey, do I do it now? Because they'll be losing like 4-1. They'll get smashed into the ground, after the whistle, or nothing will happen, and they'll come up and like flick the puck into your goal, and they'll just sit there and start teabagging for no reason. And you don't teabag unless you're like on top of the hill. If you're rolling down the damn hill, it's not like, oh, I got you. So if it is duly timed, sure.
So
What I really. So
yeah,
go
go
ahead.
all
No, you
right.
go
So I'll tell you, I'm normally pretty calm when I play games, and
Yes.
there are times where I like Halo 5, perfect example, where I'm like, I got a guy in my sights, I've got him, and then he does something ridiculous at the end, and he like barely survives, and he kills me, and then he
Oh, I hate
runs,
that.
and then he runs over to me and starts teabagging me, and part of me is like, this is kind of funny, and part of me just wants to scream at the television, and that's usually what I do, and I'm just like, really, and then I'm determined to kill this dude for the rest of the match, so yes, there's a time for it. And I've been on both ends of it. Like in NHL, we do it just to mock the other team, really, because they teabag the whole time. They'll be down 4-0 and start teabagging because they made like a hit after the whistle.
Yeah.
But there's times for it, and in shooters, if you do something great or you embarrass somebody, go for it, because it's just gonna get to them more.
What I really miss is which I haven't gotten one of these messages in a long time, but the messaging after you win a match, or
yes.
like in Call of Duty back in the day, it was 1v1 me on this map, sniper, no scope, just stupid messages like that. I remember even back in the day playing Call of Duty online. I was playing with my girlfriend at the time, and she was making fun of this kid, and he's making fun of like just him in general, the things he's saying, and he actually threatened to fight me, and he voice messaged me his address, and he said, "Come fight me."
Wow.
So,
He like gave me his full address. He was somewhere in California, which I don't even know if it was a real residential address. If it was, that is a very stupid thing to do. But I like those trash talk messages. I miss them. Where somebody just gets so mad that they're, they had to write a message or, create a voice message and send it to me about how mad.
Prove they're dominant.
So not today, but sometime in the near future, we're gonna tell a story that me and Mike know from playing a golf game about a guy that just completely lost his everything at the fact that that we didn't that he didn't win. So anyway, all right, what's our next question?
All right, Stephen Wiseman asked.
Him again?
Should game companies, he's trying to win again, game companies have a minimum sales goal? Is it a good idea? Well, yes. I mean, they're a business.
But don't they have sales goal? That's my question.
They absolutely have sales goals. They, games, depending on the game, indie games don't take a lot and don't cost a lot of money to make. And they actually make very good money for those small teams. But, like Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, they have huge teams. Millions of dollars.
Unlimited amounts, basically.
Millions and millions of dollars that they invest in the game. I want to say, like Grand Theft Auto, didn't they spend like $500 million in advertising and developing the game? Something crazy. It was something insane. And
they got it back, so it's...
they get it all back. And
then some.
But, so yes, they have to have a sales goal. But I think some sales goals are a little bit ridiculous. So I read an article today. I don't know if you guys read it about Resident Evil. About how Resident Evil 7. Oh, okay. Capcom announced that they sold 3.5 million copies, which sounds great. 3.5 million copies is good, even for a AAA game. Did not meet their sales goals. They missed it by 500,000 copies. So sometimes I think publishers just put a little bit too much pressure on some sales goals, or pushing dates and timelines, putting stress on the developers. And I think I remember it too with Final Fantasy. They missed their mark, even though they sold like 8 million copies or something, or they're going for 10 million. And same thing with Tomb Raider. It seems like Japanese publishers and developers just put a high goal in their games, and then they call the game a failure. I mean, that's basically what they said about Resident Evil 7, that it missed its mark, not a good game, because they only sold a mere 3.5 million copies.
Yeah, like, come on.
Come on. Any insight?
Anybody?
I guess we're the only ones here.
It seems that way.
Okay, well, we're gonna, I guess, move on.
Said,
to the
yeah,
next...
keep going.
Oh no, I can't hear.
Your mic was on mute.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you or Tyler. So, next question from Alex Sullivan: is there one game you wish would launch with Scorpio? What would it be?
Well, I bet you I know Tyler's answer. And Tyler, are you on
Halo
mic?
6. Yeah, Halo 6.
That's the one I was gonna guess. Do you think we will see Halo 6?
I kind of do. I think that might be their major surprise, and I could look foolish for it. It might just be the fanboy in me, but I think it could be a major surprise at E3 that they announce Halo 6 to launch.
Well, I think they got to bring something big that's gonna like surprise people, and to me, I think that will be the biggest surprise. And
I think they're going to bring on Halo 6, but I personally, I don't have like that one game that I hope they release or re-release or make a sequel, whichever. I'm just excited for the Scorpio in general. I hope they talk about maybe the next Gears title. Halo, I'm just not too excited for. I'm excited for Forza. I hope that there is a next iteration of Forza, and that's not Horizons. Yeah.
Do you think there will be? Well, I know that it takes several years sometimes to develop the game, but do you think we'll see a ReCore 2? Like, I don't really know
I don't
how
think that game performed very well.
How the sales have done.
I don't think it performed very well.
Yeah,
so I don't know if we're going to see
the end of it.
There's been rumors back and forth that we might see a Sunset Overdrive 2, but that game would still be a couple years away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, because somebody that's working on a Spider-Man game for PS4 right now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Looks
I
good
can't
too.
think of anyone that I can think of for a launch title with the Scorpio. So if I think of one while you guys are talking, I'll butt in and let you guys know.
Yeah.
Peggle 3. Peggle 2
3.
was a great launch title for Xbox One.
It was. I just don't think it's the right type of game to show off.
Yeah, it's not.
Well,
It's not.
how about Rise 2?
No, get out of here.
Like, it would look fantastic, but
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't
Well,
think that.
I was just thinking, like, is this something they would like learn from their mistakes and like say, okay, we got this and we can handle this now?
Rise was thrown together so quickly. It was originally supposed to be a Kinect title.
Yeah.
And
I
then it
remember
got kind
that.
of turned into a like full retail release title, and it just felt like in between. It felt like it was somewhere in between those two things when you played it.
Yeah, I
just
remember they
wasn't-
had that where you had fired a catapult,
Mhm.
you'd yell fire or whatever, and then the catapult would fire.
And it's all the QTE stuff was, I bet, designed to be Kinect stuff.
Yeah, and wasn't
So-
there a Tom Clancy's game too that supposed to utilize Kinect
What's up?
for yelling command, like a Tom Clancy game?
Yes, I hated that game. Mostly because I was
Yeah.
bad at it. But
Like
yeah.
End War?
Yeah, it was End War.
That's what
Yeah.
it was.
Yep. And that functionality is so much better now that a game like that would work much better. But yeah,
I don't want to yell at my TV while
I
I'm
don't
playing
either.
games. Yeah.
No.
not either.
Just
Except
wanna
for
play
the
the
people,
game.
except for the people teabagging me or whatever Brian called it.
Yeah.
So-
What if you could actually stand up in front of your like Connect and just teabag in your living room and it just projects out on the screen?
That would actually probably be good exercise. I don't know.
What if in NHL, like whenever you initiate a fight, you actually had to stand up and like just start fighting in your living room?
Oh God, I can't even imagine how much yelling and screaming I'd hear at that point.
How many things will be broken in your apartment?
So, all right, is that it for questions, or do we have?
That
another
is
one?
it for questions.
That's it. All right, thank you everybody for sending them in. Keep sending them in every week. We'll be doing another drawing a month from now, at the end of May. And anybody who has a question read on the show will be entered to win. So again, congratulations, Stephen Wiseman, for winning in the month of April. And hopefully
Yes,
this
thank you
gives-
for listening.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you for listening.
Thank you
Hopefully this gives you incentive, Steve, to be a little better in NHL. as we move forward. So, anything else, guys, before we get out of here?
No.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for episode number 46.
No.
Yeah.
We'll be back
Happy
next
gaming.
week with number 47, and we'll be live on Twitch on the Respawn Network. We will post a link on our Facebook page so you know how to get there. We'll be on there. We'll also be on YouTube on their channel and on our own YouTube channel after the show is done. Look for us as well. We're going to be starting to do some Twitch streams and YouTube stuff going forward, as well as some articles on xboxculture.net. You can find a little write-up I did on Call of Duty, and I'm going to be working on an article about sports games, whether they should be yearly releases or not. That's going to be going up here in the next few days. So with that, thank you everybody so much for listening this week. We'll be back next week. Until then, have a great week, everybody. Stay safe and play some great games. We'll talk to you next week.
Take care, everyone.
Yeah.